Hey everyone. So we wanted to do some videos telling you some of our top three, bucket list things and cemeteries we want to go to, haunted places we want to go to, and grave headstones we want to visit. And so these are my top three grave markers, headstones that I would like to go see in person. And mine are a little different, but yeah, definitely some good ones here. And it's what's ironic is all day I've had on my own from Les Mis stuck in my head. So two of these are in France, so kind of ironic, but I've been singing it all morning. So this first and second ones are both in Père Lachaise Cemetery in Paris, France. And I have to say, I've been to Paris once, and it was just a one-day quick adventure, and we wanted to just kind of see the town. So we did one of those little tour bus things, and we saw the Eiffel Tower, and then we had to leave. This is my biggest regret, and I don't regret much in life, guys. This was my biggest regret, is that I did not get to go to Père Lachaise Cemetery and see some of these headstones in person while I was there. And the number one is Jim Morrison. When I was a teenager, I was obsessed with the Doors. Like, probably had 8 posters from the Doors hanging in my bedroom. Loved their music, just something about it. I loved that era of music, the Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Doors kind of thing. And so I would love to go see Jim Morrison's headstone. So I can't just tell you the headstone. I always have to give you guys a little more information. So Jim Morrison died on July 3rd, 1971 at 27 years old of a suspected drug overdose in an apartment in Paris. Now, on the famous gravestone at Père Lachaise in central Paris is a bronze plaque engraved with 3 lines. It says his full name, the dates, 1943 to 1971, then a forward phrase in ancient Greek. And I'm totally going to say this the wrong way, but kata tan daemona o2. And it's translated saying, against the demon within thyself, which I think is so apropos for someone who fought addiction for a little while during those last few years of his life. And you can see, if you look at pictures of Jim Morrison, you can see how much weight he gained from his drinking and his drugs and everything in those later years. And it did a lot of damage to his body. So they also say that he died of just a heart attack induced by these years of abuse he did to his body. So putting against the demon within thyself on his headstone is very apropos. His girlfriend, or common law wife in the eyes of the court, Pamela Corson, inherited his entire estate. And it would only become legally binding if she lived for at least 3 months after he died. So that's pretty wild. Oliver Stone's 1991 movie about Morrison spawned an entire new generation of fans and visitors to his unassuming grave. Guards at Père Lachaise Cemetery estimate that 1.5 million people come each year to see his headstone. That is insane. If you did not see that movie, Val Kilmer in that movie is phenomenal. I think he is an amazing actor, super underrated. Him in Tombstone was woo. So Val Kilmer played Jim Morrison perfectly. Now, there used to be, when originally this headstone was put in, there was a huge, large bust, which is a bronze sculpture of someone that is set typically from the bust up to the, over the head, and it was there, but it was stolen in 1988, and I could not find that it has ever been found. I would love to go see this graves and see, just see his burial place. I just think it would be awesome. So number 2 is in Père Lachaise. And this one is a bit wild, but I think just to see it in person would be phenomenal. Now, this is the grave of Victor Noir. He was born in July 27th, 1848, and died January 11th, 1870. So he was not very old. He was a French journalist, and he was shot and killed by Prince Pierre Bonaparte, a cousin of French Emperor Napoleon III. Now, he became a symbol of opposition to the imperial regime, and his tomb has now become a fertility symbol. This man, like, there is nothing about him that was this virile symbol in life. He just happened to be shot in this duel situation, and now people flock to his grave. So let's find out a little more. AmusingPlanet.com says Victor Noir was working as an apprentice journalist for the newspaper Marseille, I don't know French, in 19th century Paris. At that time, the newspaper's owner and the editor became embroiled in a conflict with Prince Pierre Bonaparte, the great nephew of Napoleon and cousin of the ruling Emperor Napoleon. In order to settle the matter in a way unbefitting of an editor of a newspaper, the editor sent Victor Noir and another of his employees to the home of Bonaparte to deliver a challenge for a duel. Can you imagine like duels back then? Like, that's legit. Someone knocks on your door. You have been challenged to come and try and shoot someone before they shoot you. I can't imagine someone knocking on the door now saying that. Prince Bonaparte originally declined the challenge and asserted his willingness to fight the newspaper owner instead of the editor. An altercation broke out that resulted in Bonaparte drawing a pistol and shooting Victor. So it just became this scuffle when he was challenged. Now, Wikipedia talks about this. A life-size bronze statue was sculpted by Jules Deleuze to mark the grave of Victor Noir, portraying in a realistic style as though he had fallen on the street. So it is a flat bronze statue laying down of him, dropping his hat, which is depicted beside him. The sculptor has a very noticeable protuberance in Noir's trousers. This has made it one of the most popular memorials for women to visit in the cemetery. The myth says that placing a flower in the upturned top hat after kissing the statue on the lips and rubbing its genital area will enhance fertility, bring a blissful sex life, or in some versions, a husband within a year. As a result of the legend, those particular components of the otherwise bronze statue are rather well worn and shiny, as are the tips of the boots. So you're seeing pictures here alongside of this that he is rubbed, kissed, and touched so much on the lips and his genitals that it stays super shiny in those areas. In 2004, a fence was erected around the statue of Noir to deter superstitious people from touching the statue. However, due to supposed protests from the female population, in fact, it was torn down again. So people believe in this so much and want, if you're trying to get pregnant or you want a husband or you want an amazing love and sex life, people want to do everything they can. So going to this statue, kissing it, rubbing his protuberance and leaving a flower, it's just a little something to do. Maybe if it helps, it helps. If not, it not. But wild. And there has been some photo sessions some people have done over the years that have caused quite a stir because they're very sexual and nature and just not the most appropriate done at his grave marker. So Google Victor Noir, you'll see all of it. Fascinating. So I just want to see it in person. Then the third place I want to go is not one particular headstone, but more tombs. So the Lycian rock tombs in Turkey and Fee. 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 I. Fee. I. Some of these words I've had to like do pronunciation stuff on. So Atlas Obscura says, carved into the side of a Turkish mountain are what look to be the entrances to countless temples, but are in fact the ornate facade of ancient Lycian tombs. They were believed that their dead were carried to the afterlife by magic winged creatures, and thus they placed their honored dead in geographically high places, such as the cliffside, dating back to the 4th century. 4th. Many of the numerous entryways are adorned with tall classical columns and intricate reliefs, a bit duller from centuries of weathering. The older tombs are often no more than unremarked holes dug into the rock, despite the external grandeur. The interior of the tombs are spar chambers cut into rock with a simple monolith inside to display the body and the rooms, and otherwise empty from hundreds of years worth of looting. So as soon as I pulled these up and I showed them to Josh, I was like, I want to go here. And he goes, that looks like Lord of the Rings. If you've seen Lord of the Rings, it's exactly what it looks like, is the entrance to some of the places that they go. It's pretty amazing. So I'm wondering if some of that was taken from these real actual places. The tomb of Amyntas is the largest and most notable of all the tombs, and the one you are able to enter. They were built in all of these were built in approximately 350 BC and are one of the ancient architectural wonders of Turkey. They were built for kings and queens. And as I said, the higher they go, the closer to heaven. Pretty amazing place. So I am guessing, like me, many of you are just learning about the fact that these exist and that you can go there and you can visit them and you can go up to them. How cool is that? From 350 BC. So these are my 3 places I want to go. The first 2 are in Père Lachaise in Paris, Jim Morrison and Victor Noir's grave. And then the third is the Lycian rock tombs in Turkey. So what grave spaces do you want to visit in the world?